What's up there, dudes? I'm going to make a bold statement here. It's a doozy. Sit down, grab your comfort animal, grab your own butt if you want. But black, blue, and green is the best color combination in Magic the Gathering Commander. Alright, I'm going to tell you why. But first, subscribe to the channel, brother. We got Patreon, we got YouTube memberships below here, and we got a free Discord. Those dudes are in there studiously breaking down the Final Fantasy spoilers, breaking down barriers too, buddy. We're smashing the New World Order in there. It's a festival. Alright, first things first, we got green. Green has the best ramp in the game, the best color fixing, bar none. Plus it's got some pretty versatile removal with Beast Within. Green's also got the best and biggest creatures. Well, biggest I should say, maybe not best. Green combined with black has some serious self-mill and some graveyard synergies. It makes sense, at least in my head. You know, you got birth from death, the ever-churning grand cycle of life, brother. Life is a wheel. Now, of course, blue has counter magic, has lots of draw, and some serious mill and graveyard synergies. Blue in this triad color combo is probably the biggest support color, shoring up the weaknesses of the other two. Black, blue, and green decks tend to be graveyard centered, and blue is great at filling that yard, baby. Now black is just the best color. That's an opinion, brother. I'm a dark guy. I joke with my girlfriend sometimes. She says, "Oh, you're perfect. You're the best boyfriend ever." And I ask if it would be a deal breaker if I had a throne of skulls in my basement made from homeless skulls, you know. She says, no deal breaker. That's fine. That's a ride or die right there, dude. But I've got that darkness inside of me, man. Sometimes when I'm jogging around the neighborhood, I imagine burning everything like a Viking. Burn everything between me and the river. Now, black as a color has the best access to tutors, recursion, graveyard tutors like Entomb, mass reanimation, huge creatures, absolutely huge, and draw. It really has it all, man. It's got removal. Green and black with Assassin's Trophy. That card is only a couple bucks for those of you looking for some cheap removal. It's very versatile. So you're over there saying to yourself, "Nikki G, what are some of your favorite black, blue, and green commanders?" Well, I'm going to tell you, dude, calm down. Get out of my rectum. Rectum, I didn't even know him. Now right off the rip, I gotta go old school here. I have this guy in the old frame before the legendary frame was even out. The Mimeoplasm, so that's 2 black, green, and a blue. Legendary creature Ooze, it's a 0/0. As it enters, you may exile 2 creature cards from graveyards. That's your graveyard and your opponent's graveyard, but you're probably going to want to build your self-mill so you can reliably exile stuff from your own graveyard. If you do, it enters as a copy of one of those cards with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it equal to the power of the other card. Bro, such a fun deck. It's just another way to abuse Phyrexian Dreadnought. Get 12 counters on this guy. If it ends up in your hand, just cast it for 1 mana, sacrifice it, get it into the graveyard. You know, of course, Phyrexian Dreadnought is like $100, but, you know, I'm always looking for ways to break that card. Now, of course, this is what I call a weird Voltron deck, meaning a deck that doesn't abuse equipment, though Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots are a must in this deck so we can exile that Phyrexian Dreadnought and maybe a damn Spinebiter and slap in. You may have this creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. Look at this beautiful card, man. Somebody is dead. Think about that next game, Fred. You dead, Fred. Mess with me, you're getting spine bitten. I've also always been enamored with exiling Prime Speaker Zagana. It enters with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control, and when it enters, draw cards equal to its power. So you exile some other big thing, draw 20 cards, then scrap them all at end of turn so your graveyard's full for the next time you cast Mimeoplasm. Mimeoplasm is a lot of fun, dude. Drop me your Mimeoplasm stories below in the comments so I can read them as I take my bathy boo in the night. Alright, I need some reading material, brother. I still use Mimeoplasm as just a big old reanimation spell in some decks, you know. You can never have too many oozes, you know what I'm saying, dude? Unless you're a doctor. Okay, this is less graveyard centered, is a little unique, but it's got a Multiverse Legends reprint, and it's now only a couple bucks. We have Yarok the Desecrated, 2 black, green, and a blue. Legendary creature, Elemental Horror, it's a 3/5. Has Death Touch and Lifelink. If a permanent entering causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, dude. That's permanent, man. So many ways to go with this. You can go with Landfall, ETB creatures, token creators. It's a nutty card. It's an easy build, man. You can easily just go nuts on a budget, too. That Death Touch and Lifelink makes him a decent little blocker with that big butt. Now looking at the art, I've never been able to figure out what it's supposed to be. It's like a goo and spider webs, it's vaguely humanoid. I don't know. I'm not hating on it because I'm basically goo in a humanoid form myself. My favorite thing to do is copy the ETB effects on Hoarding Broodlord or Rune-Scarred Demon. These guys get me combo pieces, and then you win, brother. You win. Your winning never ends, my dude. Alright, moving on here, we got a big old goo monster, the Master Transcendent. I'm sensing a theme here. These guys are very gooey. So this is one black, green, and a blue legendary artifact creature, mutant. It's a 2/4. When this guy enters, target player gets 2 rad counters. Has tap, put target creature card in a graveyard that was milled this turn onto the battlefield under your control. That's mill, brother. It's a green mutant with base power and toughness 3/3. God damn, I love this guy. There are a few reasons why, but the first is his interaction with Intruder Alarm. So that states creatures don't untap during their controller's untap steps. Whenever a creature enters, untap all creatures. So you cast this little gem, and then you cast Maddening Cacophony, right? Then get all the creatures, buddy. Now you have all these triggers because everybody's mad, and it's fun, and you're probably going to win if that's the case. Making your creatures 3/3s is bad if they're bigger than 3/3, but it's good if they're a little 1/1 like Baleful Strix. Now listen, get in here close. If you're a real nasty fella like me, run a food chain combo with Eternal Scourge and Mist Hollow Griffin. Right. Now you're going to sack those to food chain, cast them from exile, sack them again, etc, etc. So you are generating infinite mana, but you're also able to sacrifice and recast your commander. And remember that first ability. When it enters, target player gets 2 rad counters. So you irradiate everyone past the turn. They're going to mill out, and that's the end of the game. Radiation. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, if you have any rad counters, mill that many cards. For each non-land card milled this way, you lose 1 life and a rad counter. So they lose a ton of life, and if that doesn't kill them, they have no deck, man. But it's probably going to kill them because most commander decks pack about 60 non-land cards, give or take. 62, 63, 64, So, and they have no deck at that point, man. But listen, this is not a Super Diesel CEDH competitive commander, but that's going to close out the game. It's right up my alley. The Master has all kinds of value you can accrue. You can go mill or self-mill. You can do a little of both. And if you have any blink shenanigans, you can reset your mutants too. It's right up my alley. Graveyard stuff, gooey mutants, come on, man. Alright, this next one is a bit of a weird one. Zimone and Dina. Black, green, blue, legendary creature, human dryad. It's 3/4. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Has tap, sacrifice another creature, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat this process once. God damn, that's a lot of text on a card. You got a couple things going on here. You want to be sacrificing creatures because that ability is very powerful. You also have a landfall sub-theme too, man. Pack the deck with landfall payoffs. Get your big mana stuff going on. You have some decent drain here. If you have instant speed draw effects, you can be hitting people for up to 8 drain per turn cycle. Not that, it's that great because it only hits one opponent though, but it's a compelling and thoughtful build around. Now, of course, I got to give it up for my boy here. Zaxara the Exemplary. So this is one black, green, and a blue legendary creature, Nightmare Hydra. It's a 2/3, has Death Touch. Has tap, add 2 mana of any one color. Whenever you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, create a 0/0 green Hydra creature token. Then put X +1/+1 counters on it. It's pretty awesome, man. So you have the obvious combo with Freed from the Real and Pemenzora, but that's just a piece of the cool stuff you can do with this guy. You gotta find those X spells, man. Simic Ascendancy too, I want to talk about that card. Though it's easily removed, can be a win condition in this deck. Make them use that removal. You get all creative with the X spells, man. I gotta say my favorite card in this deck is probably Diabolic Revelation. Yes, it's a bad card, it's a piece of crap, but you go get whatever you want, man. I've had instances where I've got enough mana that I can just get 5 cards, and that, keep that all backed up with some counter magic and you're good to go. I also have Nyxbloom Ancient in this deck and a couple creature tutors to get it out. Overall, it's a very fun, very powerful deck. And don't forget, after all that, you're packing a bunch of Hydras from that last ability. Give them Trample with Garruk's Uprising, you're good to go. So listen, man, those are 5 of my favorites. I don't expect them to be your favorites, but I dig them. Let me know what you like in the comments below. There are plenty of other bug commanders, bangers out there. Now, I do want to give an honorable mention here to Kadena, the Slinking Sorcerer. I have a Kadena deck that, is honestly not even that good. It kind of builds itself, you're looking for morphs and stuff like that, but it's always fun to play, and has frankly pulled out some shocking wins out of nowhere. Never underestimate a morph. That's what my mom said about me when I was born, man. People said, look at this little morph that just got born. And my mom said, don't underestimate him. And I've never looked back from that moment. Nikki G, better commander. Happy Mother's Day. Signing off.